Okay, so a warm welcome to my 8 p.m. Periscope to those of you who still remember who I am. It's been a while, my friends, but there's been reasons for that. So, as you all join, just to explain that the reason for my disappearance from Periscope was that, oh, hello, Stevie Wonder. Um, I just called to say I love you. Um, my wife and I had been up in Iceland for a short break, and on the way back on the flight, my wife picked up a viral infection, which laid her low, and then lo and behold, 1 week later, so did I. And so it is for the past just over a week or so. I've been mostly confined to bed. Um, the, uh, the the virus has kind of worked its way through me. So I'm hi, thank you for, by the way, for all your warm words. But I'm back, as you can see, in one place, in one piece. Yes, Arnhem Adventure. It is a bloody cold place, but a lovely place. I'd recommend Reykjavik to anyone. Just make sure that you've got a loan from the IMF before you actually go there. So, as I say, oh, thanks for the super hearts, by the way. I'm going to do my best. And thanks to Reza for the super heart and Chris. Anyway, I'm better. I'm fighting fit. Maybe not 100%, but I'm close to 100%. Now, of course, 2 weeks is a long time in politics, and it's an even longer time in the world of Periscope. So there's so much that we could talk about. I could tell you about the fact that I went on talk radio the other night, and the esteemed James Whale cut me off in my prime. Yeah, that's right. Good old James cut me off. I'll not be back, James, on talk radio. However, I will go on with Paul Ross, who's a decent guy, but I have no intention. Oh, it's just Karen, I think. Warm welcome to you as well. Anyway, yeah, James Whale cut me off. Now, what was the awful thing that I did that meant that the talk radio host felt that I had to be silenced? Well, you see, I thought it was pretty inappropriate for two police officers to take a selfie at a murder scene. Yeah, I know. It's radical thinking on my behalf. I then went on to point out that the police have even bigger issues, such as Police Scotland seeking to stamp out free speech. And it was on that note that James decided I couldn't speak any longer. So yeah, so I've been banned from the James Whale. Well, I've actually banned myself. I'm not going back. And that's the problem with the mainstream media, actually. It's just so utterly pointless. All of it. Every second you attend to the mainstream media, you feel ill. Or certainly I do. And I speak as someone who's been ill. Anyway, cheers. What else to tell you? Oh yeah, although I haven't been on Periscope, my YouTube channel has done rather well in the past couple of weeks. I've had just north of 70,000 views of a couple of videos I stuck up. One on Ireland being unsafe for the Irish in particular, which has gone kind of viral. It's got 62,000 views alone, I think. So I've got I've had quite a lot of success over there. So as for our friends at Talk Radio and the James Whale Show, bye bye. Not interested. Catherine, yes, thank you for joining me from North Texas, the Lone Star State. If only we had the same laws to protect free speech, Catherine, that you've got in the States. Now, I can see the numbers have rattled up here, so thank you for your patronage. And of course, as always, there's a few things we need to do. Yes, a pint is £10 or more in Iceland. That's why you've got to get a loan from the IMF before you go. But it's well worth it. Hit the hearts button as often as you can during the next 25 minutes or so. Hit the super hearts button if you can, if you're able to. And finally, and this is very important, keep an eye out for trolls, because I've got trolls on my back. I've got trolls everywhere. But of course they can't stop me. They amuse me. So that is the rough boundaries for tonight's conversations. But we got so much to talk about. So shall we start off talking about what's happening just outside the Houses of Parliament this evening, and that is the hashtag Enough is Enough demonstrations against Jeremy Corbyn and his Labour Party's, well, dalliance is actually too light a word, embrace of anti-Semitism. Yeah. What do you make of that then? Huh? Jeremy's actually being called out. What I would say is, first of all, well done to all those Jewish and non-Jewish people who all share the same feeling, and that is that Corbyn just cannot distance himself from anti-Semitism. And why is Corbyn unable to distance himself from anti-Semitism? Well, I've got a radical theory for you. Try this one out. I think he's an anti-Semite. Did I just say that? Gosh, I'll never be in the BBC if I say stuff like that, will I? But yeah, turns out that old Jeremy, Jezza, he's written a letter to the Board of Jewish Deputies saying he's a long-term ally in the war against anti-Semitism. Does anybody believe that? Listen, here's the deal. Labour have done everything possible to suck up to the growing Muslim vote. On that basis, it is impossible for Labour to be anything other than profoundly anti-Semitic. That's how it works. Now, of course, you could point out all the obvious stuff that people have done all over Twitter. You know, we've seen Corbyn embrace Hezbollah, who are committed to wiping out the Jews. Yep, that's right. So he's banged the rights in this one. And of course, most of his cowardly MPs, not all of them, but most of them, can't be arsed to turn up and actually demonstrate in favour of stamping out on the... and Lulu's just got this one right. Labour, for the Muslim, not for the Jew. And ain't that the truth? So, I mean, I noticed the BBC have been doing their best. There's so many good evenings. I can't say good evening to each of you, but I do appreciate your being here tonight. Yeah, listen, Corbyn's record and under Labour, it's all about anti-Semitism. They hate Jews. That's how it works. And as for the report by Baroness Chakraborty, the Baroness's whitewash, which proved that there was really nothing to see here. Move along. No anti-Semitism in Labour. No way. So, I don't understand how any Jewish person could possibly support Labour. Labour, given the opportunity, Labour would make sure this country was unfit for any Jewish person. Or indeed, people like me. I'm not Jewish, but I support Jewish people to have all the same rights and opportunities that you and I have. I support Israel. So I'm pro-Israeli, I'm pro-Jewish, and I'm proud of it. I don't take lectures from anybody in this one, even if it annoys some people. But in the world of Jeremy Corbyn, anti-Semitism is okay so long as you can get away with it. I mean, this is a party that did include Ken Livingstone. And has anyone noticed Diane Abbott coming out with strident statements damning anti-Semites wherever they could be found? Of course not. Be most interesting to watch this one. Watch the BBC sanitise it. Watch the BBC tell you Corbyn's already said twice that he's not anti-Semitic. What more does the man have to do? This is the level of BBC debate. So, yes, I agree with Mr. Gossamer. Say no to anti-Semitism, say no to Labour, and say no to Corbyn. But of course, the fact is that the fact is that Corbyn cannot distance himself from that which he is. What he's going to try and do is undergo a little bit of temporary sanitisation. That's what this is. There's nothing more disgusting than the hatred of a person for their race. It doesn't matter what their race is. If they're a coloured person or if they're a Jewish person, or a white person. Of course, the one race you're allowed to despise is white people. Just saying hello, 123 Family 25 on Periscope. You're all very welcome on my Periscope. So anyway, enough is enough. Yeah, I've got enough for Jeremy Corbyn. Let's just call it out for what it is. Labour, profoundly anti-Semitic, doing everything to inculcate the Muslim vote. Labour, the enemy of the Jew. Got that? Pretty clear. Brexit derangement syndrome. Want to talk about this. So in the past week, God bless her hearts, the Guardian's been giving us all the details on the Cambridge Analytica. Have you seen all that? Yeah. It turns out that even though it was initially the Russians that convinced me to vote Brexit, it turns out that it wasn't really them now. No, it was Facebook ads used by Cambridge Analytica. That's what it was. Yeah, that's what made us all vote for Brexit. Or so the Guardian would have us believe. Isn't it pathetic? Isn't it truly incredible just to see the derangement that Brexit has caused right across the British society? You see it in the Lords, you see it in the Commons, you see it in the Guardian, you see it in the Independent, you see it in the BBC, you see it in academia, you see it everywhere. Yeah. Betty saying there is no God. Well, I actually believe there is a God, but you're sure right to disagree with me, Betty, if you want, and it's absolutely fine. However, going back to the Brexit derangement thing, yeah, so now we're being asked to believe that it was all a fiddle. Yeah, it was all that expenditure by those evil Brexiteers using Facebook ads that convinced us stupid ones, to vote for Brexit. Well, except the Remain camp spent almost twice the money that the Leave camp spent. So, hi Nadia, by the way, you're welcome and thanks for sharing. So it appears that even though the Remainers outspent us 2-1, we were still being foolishly and fiendishly tricked. Someone asked me a question here. Did you listen to Nigel Farage? Would Northern Ireland choose Britain over EU? Let's be clear on it. Northern Ireland is British. We will leave the EU when the rest of the UK leaves the EU. End of story. I don't care about the nonsense served up by LBC in terms of one of their stupid polls. I wonder who commissioned that poll exactly. I wonder who it was conducted on exactly. I mean, it wouldn't be like LBC to be pushing fake news, would it? Oh yeah, it would. So so dismiss LBC polls on Northern Ireland somehow being left behind. We joined the European Union, or Common Market as it was, as a single constitutional unit. We will leave as a single constitutional unit. And you know something as well, that's something, just while I'm on it actually, someone saying Nigel is right, May is planning to separate NI from Northern Ireland. Well, if she tries, the DUP will separate her from her government. So, sorry, I think we've got Arlene Foster and others to make damn sure that, whereas I do agree that Theresa May cannot be trusted, thanks to the super heart, Nadia, I believe that she can't be trusted. I do believe that the DUP can be trusted to make damn sure that this part of the UK is treated no differently to England, Scotland or Wales. We're all British. We're all going to leave at the same time. Bye-bye EU. And oh, by the way, if the Irish are so keen to give them a hard border, I'd say give it to them as hard as we can. I'd seen the Irish Revenue come out yesterday in print, and they said that they believe there should be at least, I think it was, hi Gary, there should be at least 5 to 8 border crossing. Well, border crossing points. Yeah, let's have 18. Let's have 28. If you want to have it, let's build a bloody wall and let's watch the Irish economy crumble. Now, I don't want that. I wish my Irish friends the very best, but I'm sick of little Leo Varadkar, the dancing Irish Prime Minister, the Justin Trudeau of Dublin. Absolutely. Hi Jed, you're welcome. As always, you're very welcome. Give them their hard border if they want a border. I don't see why the UK should be going out of its way, by the way, to facilitate the Irish. Ireland's economy needs us, not the other way around, folks. So all this bravado, all these silly games being played. Leo the Cuck, you're dead right. This is the European Union and the Irish, and particularly little Leo, allowing themselves to be played. They don't give a toss about the Irish people. All they're trying to do is score goals and feel good and be in with the inset in Brussels. That's how pathetic the Irish political establishment is. And you know something? When I did this video there a couple of weeks ago on Ireland not being safe for the Irish, the response from Irish people is incredible. I've had tens of thousands of likes and favourites and other stuff from Irish people who know damn well that their politicians are selling them out, just like our politicians are trying to sell us out. Same thing. Wherever you go, try not to... I need to take a sip of that water. I know I do. My voice isn't great, but this is as best as I can do. So anyway, Brexit derangement syndrome. The lefties can whinge and weep and moan all they want. We're leaving and that's it. We voted out. Now, next up, ban from the UK. No, not me. But I wanted just to briefly comment on the news that came through. I think yesterday it was that the Canadian political activist and vlogger and general good egg, Lauren Southern, has been banned for life from the UK. Yeah, did you see that story? And what was the unspeakable crime that Lauren did that led her to this terrible situation? Well, turns out that back in last month, I think it was, she took part in a social experiment where she set up a stall along with, I think, Brittany Pettibone and a few others, and Martin Sellner. And at this stall she set up in Luton, that's the Caliphate of Luton, she handed out leaflets suggesting that Allah is gay, Allah is bi, Allah is this, that and the other, and that Allah is gay. Now this was what she handed out. Now, is Allah gay? I have no idea. Is God gay? I have no idea. I wouldn't think so. I think the concept is stupid. However, it's an opinion. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. No, you're not entitled to an opinion. If that opinion is likely to infringe and annoy Muslims, you're not entitled to that opinion. And that's how it is in the UK in spring of 2018. That's why free speech everywhere is being suppressed. We've seen it, and this is a deplorable ban on Lauren Southern. And Brittany Pettibone and Martin Sellner and the leader of, I think, a German freedom group as well. The UK is rapidly becoming the place that's most intolerant of all of free speech. And that's why I said to my friend Catherine here on the video, Catherine from Texas, because we don't have any laws to protect our free speech, the government can take it away. And that's exactly what is happening. So I think the situation is that we ban we ban people like Lauren Southern, and we allow Islamic State fighters back in. Do you see a problem? Because I sure as hell do. I think there's a massive problem with the conflicted values of this government. Yes, Pamela Geller, another lady, banned from the UK. Robert Spencer, another really good guy, banned from the UK. So I hope, however, that very shortly on Alt News Media, we'll be able to carry out interviews with these people. So whilst thanks Jax the lad for the super heart. So whilst the government may think they can stop them, they won't be able to stop them. You cannot stop free speech, no matter how much Police Scotland would like it to be the actual matter. And did you see the pathetic prosecution of that guy in Scotland, Marcus Meechan, who has been convicted of hate crime for teaching his pug to make Nazi salutes? Now, come on. This is it's not just beyond surreal. It's free Dankula is right. I have no time for Dankula. I think I blocked him on Twitter some time ago. So I'm not a friend, right? I'm going to be straight with you. But I support him 100% in his right to have free speech. So the British are losing our sense of humour. We're losing our free speech. And it's all being done under the gaze of Theresa May. This is a Conservative government taking away your freedom. How do you feel about that? When are they going after Basil Fawlty? There's lots of jokes in the Monty Python archives as well at the expense of Nazis. This is so stupid. But the worst thing about this is, the worst thing of all was that the video that Meechan put up, the video that he put up, it got, I think, 2 to 3 million views. I mean, that's a lot of views. I don't believe anybody actually complained. But Police Scotland decided to complain, and they got one of their own officers as a key witness, and on the basis of that they took him to court, and on the basis of the magistrate they got the conviction. So he may wait you. So you won't be allowed to train your dog to do silly things. I mean, this is a surreal world that we live in. Talking of a surreal world that we live in, yeah, I mean, jail the Nazi pug. I mean, how many? I think I also pointed this out before James Whale shut me up. How many Nazi pugs have led genocidal campaigns against ethnic groups in the UK? None. In actual fact, dogs don't actually speak English as such, so they may understand it, but they don't necessarily speak it. And so the whole essence of this prosecution is ludicrous. I'm glad that Ricky Gervais, I'm glad that the Jewish comedian David Baddiel and others take my view. I know Pat Condell is another guy who takes a view that this is absolutely, it's a menacing prosecution, because it means that who are they going to shut up next because we say the wrong thing, and who decides the wrong thing? Anyway, that's banned in the UK. Free speech soon to be a rarity wherever you are. Stormy Daniels. Oh God, yeah. So let's take 1 minute to talk about this porn star, glamour model, whatever you want to call her, who the media is now bigging up as she's going to bring down Trump. Yeah. Oh yeah, they found another on the make actress who claims to have an affair with him, and she's got all the dirt, she's got all the stuff on him, and on the basis of what Stormy Daniels says, the US president will fall, and at last Hillary Clinton will be rightfully restored as Queen of America and governess of the world. This is how pathetic the mainstream media is. They're having a meltdown over Stormy, as Siri13 is saying. But truly, I agree with you, Catherine. Nobody gives a flying whatever about this. But if you tuned into the BBC or, the august pages of The Independent or The Guardian, one could be forgiven to think, this is it. This is the moment the evil Trump falls. It's nothing of the sort. What the media is going to have to handle is that they've got to cope with Trump for another 7 years. That's what they're going to have to come to terms with. The word of a drugged up whore, as somebody puts it here, would not normally carry credibility. But then I would point out to you that our media doesn't have any credibility. So that's why they instantly rock up and they're all excited about Stormy and the allegations and all the insight she's going to provide. So the US politics is every bit as detached from reality in terms of media coverage as British politics. So one thing we actually share in common at the moment. But I think the whole Stormy Daniels thing, all it just proves to me is, by and large, what a great job Trump is doing. Apart from signing the bill, which he should not have signed. Build the wall, Trump. Deport the illegals. That's what you've been employed to do, Mr. President. Now, I like a lot of the stuff you've done. I like, for example, the fact that John Bolton is now part of the administration. Big fan of John Bolton here. So happy about that. But Catherine's right. It is all for distraction. But then most politics is. That's why I urge you not to follow mainstream politics. Mainstream politics is not about politics. It's not about giving you the news. It's about distracting you from the real news. So, anyway, that's enough on Stormy. and her unusual tales of daring do and other bravados. Final thing I wanted to talk to you about, just very briefly, is before my voice goes, is Alt News Media Radio, ANM Radio, coming soon. The last couple of weeks haven't helped with me being unwell. However, there's loads of work going on with my colleagues in the background, and we hope to launch the station live. I think within the week or so. So I'll give you all the details in terms of explaining how you access it, which I think you're going to really enjoy. It's going to be so easy, and how you then can take part in it, how you can phone in, how you can text in, how you can let your opinions be known. All that stuff, folks, is very, very, very close. Probably just the other side of Easter when we launch it. But there's a huge amount of work going on in the background. And just generally, by the way, a little update on Alt News Media, the channel itself. In the past 4 weeks, we've, I think, more than doubled our traffic. So we are growing leaps and bounds. There have been some fantastic articles by my colleagues. Leave my nonsense to one side. But if you read the stuff that Shazia Hobbs has put out, if you've read the stuff that David from Shy Society has put out, there's some cracking reads in there, really good insights, and it's just a shame that I wasn't able to meet with them last week when I was taken unwell. I had planned to be over in England, but my time will come again. So Alt News Radio is going to be kind of part of the natural evolution of the channel. So rather than just a dry, dusty, digital platform, it's going to be a dynamic. Yes, Chris, the radio. That's what I'm talking about. Alt News Radio will launch within about a week or so. The format, there's going to be at least, I think, a couple of shows a week. I'll give you the format details. They're not going to be the same show, so different formats. And I hope you'll find it worthy of tuning in. It's gonna be a gas. I'll tell you now, it's gonna be really enjoyable. So if you like me on this one here, you'll be able to listen to me and join in the debates on Alt News Radio. And don't forget, there is my YouTube channel you can watch if you want to watch some of the stuff that I do as well. And I hope that anyway gives you sufficient confidence that reports of my death have been somewhat exaggerated. So that's it. I don't think my official timekeeper Jeff has been here tonight. I haven't had the thumbs up as we approach the half hour, but as you can tell, I'm struggling. So I'll wish you an early good night. Hope to be back on this one. I see John Gaunt's back. Yeah. Jed, all full details on Alt News Media Radio, ANM Radio, coming very, very shortly. But we're going to try and shake the whole thing up. We're not planning to do this by half measures. So hope you'll enjoy that. But that's it from me for tonight. Thanks for joining me. Apologies for the cough and for the voice, but I'm trying to get myself back on the level. So as always, your company makes it all worthwhile for me. So thanks for all your hearts. Thanks for your company, and hope to catch up with you again, all things being equal, tomorrow evening. Okay, night everyone. Good night.